Hello everyone, Fermier here, welcome back to my how-to video. Now today we're going to travel back in time. We're going to go all the way back to the medieval time. Now what I'm going to show you today with this delicious recipe, I'm going to show you how they used to do it all the way back to the Middle Ages. So this recipe dates back, a few hundred years ago, and it's quite a simple recipe. So I'm going to add a little twist to it. What I'm going to do to match those medieval donuts, I'm going to do a drunken cherry jam. So I'm going to jam with cherries, some dark rum, some vanilla beans, and some brown sugar. So let's start first by doing the batter for the donut. So what you need for the batter, you need 300 grams of plain flour, a pinch of salt, 50 grams of melted butter, or you can also use some tasteless like grapeseed oil. You need 3 egg yolks, free range. Keep the whites because you need it later to whisk them and then add it to the batter. And some orange blossom water, gives like freshness to the dough. And you also need some frying oil. So I use rice bran oil. Alright guys, so we're gonna add the orange blossom water. The mix. Add the egg yolk. And we're gonna add the melted butter. Just give it a whisk. And I've also got in there, just to help it when you cook it to puff up a little bit, I've got some baking powder. Just about a teaspoon and a half. And then you've got some warm water. I'm just gonna add just enough to have like a smooth batter. Also, we're just going to put it in the fridge, wrap it first and then put it in the fridge for a couple of hours just to leave it rest. Then once it's rested, we'll whisk the egg white and then incorporate it to the dough to make it nice and smooth. Alright guys, so once while the batter is resting in the fridge, we're going to make the jam. So we cook it nice and slow for 2 hours. So start by putting the cherries there so they're pitted. I've used fresh cherries, but you can also use frozen cherries if you want. Vanilla beans, put them in there as well. So there's 600 grams of pitted cherries, 3 vanilla beans, seeds out, and I keep the skin just to put it in the rum to infuse it a little bit. I've got about 100 ml of rum. I've got about 250 grams of brown sugar. I'm just gonna add the vanilla skin to the jam. I'll take it out later just to really get all the flavor of the vanilla. So the sugar really depends on how sweet you want it. I don't really want it too sweet because I want the cherries to keep that bite. So when you eat it with the beignet, then they will really complement and give it a little kick. Then just bring it to the boil and then we just lower it just so it simmers, and then we'll cook it for about just a couple of hours until you got that really jam-like consistency. Alright guys, so the batter has been rested for just about 2 hours. Now we're just gonna whisk the egg whites just until they get light and fluffy. So we don't want it too hard, you just want it to soft pick. Alright guys, just give it a stir before you add the egg, just to loosen it. And then we're just going to start with half. And the remaining whites. So it's quite light and fluffy, the consistency. Alright. So while I'm heating up the oil to cook the beignets, I'm just going to show you. So that you see all the jam. So see the cherry jam, cooked it for about 2 hours, so it's reduced down quite a bit. It's got that jam-like consistency, so there's still a little bit of juice at the bottom of the dish, so it's not too dry. Alright guys, I've got my oil about 180 degrees. The butter is ready here. When I'm going to cook the beignets, I'm going to make up the caramel at the same time. So once I've cooked them, I'm going to quickly dip them in the caramel and give them a nice coating, but you need to do it while they're still hot. So that's why I'm going to do it in a few batches. Just grab a spoon of butter and simply drop it in the oil and try to give him a different shape. I'm gonna do about 3 or 4 at a time. Turn them around. You just want them golden on each side, basically. Alright guys, so I've made about 15 or so, and I've got like a light caramel, so it's really not too dark. And while they're still hot, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna quickly dip them into the caramel. It just gives them like a, you know, a nice coating. Just let me show you, just like so. So just a coating all around, and then just put it on the plate. That's it, and make sure you keep them separated so they don't stick together. Voila guys, so see, give them like a nice shiny coating. Hey voila everyone, my delicious medieval donuts with the Drunken cherry jam. Now I hope you enjoyed this recipe and that you liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, or you can also leave a comment in the comment box below. Don't forget to check out my blog for the full recipe and the whole list of ingredients. Or you can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter for daily inspirations. That's it for me today everyone. I'll see you next week for another cook video. Thank you for watching. We're gonna do a creme caramel, but instead of doing the traditional vanilla one, what I'm gonna do, we're just gonna add a little bit of saffron